The hat needs to see. Look, it has to stick out more because these women, they're very oppressed, and like you know, it's like you can't see me, I'm oppressed, like that. You gotta have that vibe. Welcome to episode 40 of the new and improved This Is Jen podcast. We have Shady Ray producing. Hello, delightful everyone. That you're here. Don't forget that we do bonus episodes on Patreon, special episodes only available to Patreon subscribers. I'm very active in the Patreon community, and you can get all of that at patreon.com/thisisjen. I am loving Patreon. I'm thrilled with it. So be sure to go sign up. And what a week, Shady. What a week. Yes. What a week we have. So now President Trump has COVID. So now we have 2 Weekend at Bernie's candidates. This is like, you know what it is? What if this is one big extreme haunt? So there are these guys, you should Google this, extreme haunt. There's this guy, his last name is like McCamey or something. Hang on. Oh yeah, McCamey. McCamey is his last name. Russ McCamey. So he does an extreme haunt where it's a haunted house where you pay. And these guys will shove your face in the mud, kick you, shave your head.
I've heard about that.
It's, right, and people pay for this.
Yeah, they torture you.
They pay for this. Yeah. Right. And they'll like hit you upside the head with a brick, and they're like, it's a haunted house. Right. And people are like, can I pay you money for this? This is, you know, who had an amazing extreme haunt was Stalin. Those gulags that he set up in Siberia, that was he had the best extreme haunt. Best. So what if America right now, it's just an extreme haunt? Maybe that's what it is. And it's like, oh, it's going to turn out that after Halloween, it was jinx. A totally, yeah, right. It was like, it's a totally normal country. And so, you know, we have the riots and cities burning and presidential candidates in various states of decline and just absolute, you know, impending civil war, kind of this invisible, silent war with China. Oh, a pandemic. China. Don't forget that. This is the best extreme haunt. You guys, we should be paying for this. We've got California's burning
we
again.
Kind of are paying for it.
Yeah, what?
We kind of are paying for it.
We are, well, right, that's true. Yeah, we are paying for it. Maybe. But this is like, here, just some spooky music. I want out of this haunted house. Like it's like you turn around the corner like the president has COVID. There's an election. Our cities are going to burn no matter what the outcome because it's going to be contested. Like, you know, I'm just glad that I don't have a stand-up comedy special coming out.
Oh, right?
In the midst of that. That would be horrible. That would be bad. A terrible thing. So I think that that's what it is. Our country is just stuck in an amazing extreme haunt. And I think I'm ready to get out. You know, I'm ready to
long game.
Get on the other side of this. Okay, thank you for the spooky music. And starting next week, we have the Supreme Court confirmation hearings getting rolling. That'll be fun. That won't be divisive and insane at all. And because of this, because Amy Coney Barrett is nominated, and she's part of this covenant community that actually... They actually called some of the women who had certain roles in the community handmaids, and everyone thinks, yeah.
No.
We'll circle back to that. So now with Halloween coming up, Handmaid's Tale outfits they're really popular because they're like, if you have someone like that on the Supreme Court, it's all just going to be Handmaid's Tale. Now I have a lot to say about that, and I had decided that I should deliver this hot take dressed as a handmaid because these are the popular outfits. But then I saw the price of it and I was like, I don't care enough about my hot takes to spend $50.
Ooh.
You're right. On a Handmaid's Tale outfit. So luckily, if I could have Shady step over here, we have found... we found some red. Okay, so first of all, we have here a hat. It's like a hat. Oh, it's, for you guys who are listening on audio only, you should probably just look this up on YouTube. But episode 40. But we have a hat. It's a white hat. It's like you would wear to a picnic. So this is the part of the handmaid's outfit that sticks out. And then we found a red velvet. Is that velvet? What material? So we found a velour. It's like we found a lounge.
Like tracksuit style.
Tracksuit. And because I'm not paying $50 for a Handmaid's Tale outfit. And then where are these the pants here?
That's the
pants. And then so this is
little cover there.
Wait, hang on, Shady. We got to get this right. So
I got to make sure I can.
the hat needs to see. Look, it has to stick out more because these women, they're very oppressed, and like you know, it's like you can't see me. I'm oppressed. Like that, you got to have that vibe going on.
Oppressed vibe. Got it.
Okay, so we've got the white Sunday. Oh, this is I'm gonna sell this. This will be when I have merch. It'll be the Jen's. Hi, Shady's never been on screen. This is Shady,
hi,
everyone. So again, those of you listening on audio only, if you can't, if you're too afraid, if you're too fearful to look this up on YouTube, which I would understand, I am wearing loungewear velvet sweatpants, red, on my head with a little like Sunday bonnet, white Sunday bonnet peeking out. And then we have the tracksuit around me because I'm a handmaid. I am now ready to deliver my Amy Coney Barrett handmade take.
It looks amazing.
Now thank you. I'm selling
amazing.
this. This is,
Seriously.
look for in my merch shop. This-is-gen.com. There's not much there right now, but there will be a merch shop that sells
If this isn't innovation, I don't know what is.
This is us making it work. This is women coming together and making it work. So first of all, how funny is it that the People of Praise Covenant community actually had women called handmaids? You just can't make this stuff up. How funny is that? And now I'm sure this is from Behold the Handmaid of the Lord, biblical. But they had to change it, I think, because the movie, this TV show and the book, it got a little bit popular, so there are all of these articles in Newsweek and other places that say that the People of Praise Covenant community changed the name. They don't call the women handmaids anymore, but they don't say what they do change it to. And I wish they had consulted with me. Because I would have had a go big or go home mentality. It's biblical, but all right, nobody gets that because now everyone's watching the stupid Hulu show. So I'd be like, we are now God's wenches. Ooh. We're God's tavern wenches. It's like, did you meet with Sister Teresa? Did you meet with Sister? Yes, she's God's tavern wench.
Oh my gosh.
You could also do sirens.
Ooh.
Vixens. There's a lot you could have fun with this if you have to change the name Handmaid. And one of the reasons that people get so wound up about this is and compare her beliefs and the community she lives in to Handmaid's Tale is that they say it's part of the community that the husband is seen as the head of the household. And so there's some language about women should let the husbands women should be submissive and the husband's the head of the household. And initially, my take was, have you seen her career? Have you seen what this woman has accomplished? This does not seem like an oppressed woman to me. This seems like a woman who has been able to do plenty of things on her. Do you know how hard it is to get nominated to the United States Supreme Court? This is not an easy job to get. So my initial take was, I think she's fine. I don't think that she has been too oppressed. But then I thought, what if her husband is just a mastermind and this is part of oppressing women, that he's like, I don't want to work. I don't want to have a job. He's like, I want to be an influencer. I want to bake bread. I'm going to start my Instagram, got some succulents that I'm going to take pictures of. And so what if he did oppress his wife, Amy Coney Barrett? And what if he was like, yeah, you got to work.
Trickery.
Did you not, I don't want to get that promotion. What if she just wanted to stay home and watch Ellen all day? And he was like, no, you got to work. I don't want to work. You got to have this career. Come on, bring home the money. Maybe that's, maybe that's like what he did and she is actually super oppressed. And those of us who have been defending her didn't know, we just didn't see that her husband is like a mastermind who has it all figured out. Oh, another thing I meant to mention, another thing I love about Handmaid's Tale outfits being popular for Halloween is that a lot of people don't recognize what they are. So I was giving a speech at an event that supports women in crisis pregnancies. It's amazing. They give money, like if a woman's in a crisis pregnancy, if she already has kids, anything, they support her kids, they give her a place to live. It's amazing. So I was giving a speech at this event, but they heard, so some local pro-choice groups heard about this, and they heard it had the pro-life label. And so they came to protest my talk. And they came to, and like literally what we are raising money for is that women who have nowhere else to go, that it's like it just pays for everything for them. So these women show up to my speech to protest dressed as handmaids. And they look like this, but not as amazing. Oh, yeah. They didn't look as amazing as I look right now because they bought like the official outfit.
Handmade.
So they're like walking outside, like doing the, like they have their little, I don't know what they were holding. I want to say it was like fake Bibles to for Christianity. So anyway, one of the ladies who was running the event is not like super well versed on pop culture, very intelligent, amazing woman. She doesn't have a Hulu subscription is what I learned, because she comes up to me and she said, Jennifer, there are some girls outside dressed as Little Red Riding Hood. Oh my And gosh. I think it's so cute that they're out there. So she thought maybe I had some fans or something that showed up dressed as Little Red Riding Hood. Aww. So for women who are dressing like this for Halloween, I'm not sure it's having the impact that you think that it's having. I'm not sure that this is working. One thing I will say, I spend a lot of time on this fine program trashing secular feminism. I'm giving them credit for this. Someone was selling sexy handmaids outfits. So it's like you have the Little Red Riding Hood cape, but it had a slit down the middle, and it was like some sexy like lingerie. And I will say the secular feminists lost their minds and they got it shut down. And all I ever ask from atheism, from feminism, from secular feminism, all I ever ask for is intellectual consistency. And they did it on this occasion. And I will say, shutting down the sexy Handmaid's Tale costume store was good, because you're being consistent there. You're saying, if the premise of this movie is it's about disrespecting women, so let's not further disrespect. They actually sold red fishnet to go with it, and they were like, and so I give that point for secular feminism for intellectual consistency, and that I loved to see that. But you know what I would like to know? I would like to meet the woman who bought that outfit, who created the demand for the sexy Handmaid's Tale outfit, who was like, I hate oppressive Christianity, but I also want to show a little leg, I want to be a little sexy. I want to,
She's been doing shake some squats,
it a little bit, right? Like I want to know that woman who's like, because the woman who buys the sexy Handmaid's Tale outfit, she's in a mentality of, I'm a strong woman and I want to stand for women's rights while being sexy. And you know what? That is exactly what this male-dominated, treating women as objects culture wants from us as women. Like, have you ever noticed in the movies, ever since starting, 10, 20 years ago, there was a big push to have strong women characters, to show women as being scientific, to show women as being, the nuclear scientist. Oh, she's a woman now, which is great. I love to see that representation. But notice it's always a hot woman. Because that's like, we can't have male-dominated, objectifying women culture go all the way and have it be a woman, who has like a really bad haircut and she's gruff, and you maybe get the vibe she's not that into men, if you know what I mean. It's never that. It's always like Scarlett Johansson is the nuclear scientist, and there's a meteor headed toward Earth, and we need to find like the next Stephen Hawking who can program the laser that will blow up the meteor and save us all. And it's like Jessica Alba walks in, and then her assistant is Kylie Jenner. society wants women to be powerful as long as they are still being hot and titillating men. That's where we are. And so don't feel like we've had any big victories, ladies. And the fact that there was any demand at all for sexy Handmaid's Tale costumes shows that women are still buying into this. We have a long way to go as women. So the thing that kills me the most about Handmaid's Tale analogies is that everything that is bad in the Handmaid's Tale world is the ideology of secular feminism. It's not even Christian ideology. That's not even our worldview. And look, and I'm not trying to be like Christianity as it is practiced by modern people, that we've got it all figured out. There's no problems. Look, I realize there are some weird Christian guys out there. There are some weird Christian women. Trust me, I've spent a while working in Catholic media. Trust me, I get it that you could fear a world in which weird Christians take over. But whenever I see the premise of The Handmaid's Tale and the way that women are oppressed, so it's like there's this class of women who are forced to have babies, but they're not the wives of the men, and those are the handmaids, the ones who have to have babies, but they're dressed in these robes, and then the wives are kind of off doing something else. Whenever I see that, I'm like, you have never met weird Christian men, have you? Because that's not their fetish. Like, that's not the way any of this plays out. And there's a Handmaid's Tale scenario that I could find very spooky, that I could find very frightening if you want to play out, if you let the weirdos from my part of the world take over. There is a terrifying vision there, but it's not The Handmaid's Tale. And in fact, the very thing that is creepy about The Handmaid's Tale vision is that you are forcing them to have children. So basically just using their bodies as an object for bearing children. And in fact, that is going on in the world today with surrogacy. You see this it's already happening, where you see women in poverty-stricken cultures who really don't have a choice. Like, so you can starve to death, or you can be a surrogate for a rich couple in West Hollywood. And then, and there are all sorts of horror stories playing out right now. As you watch this, horror stories playing out of like the surrogate will get the news that the baby has some sort of disability. The rich parents want to abort, and she's like, well, I kind of feel attached to it's my body, and like I kind of feel attached to this baby, and I don't want to go that direction. And she is totally disregarded. The feelings of the surrogate and what happens in her body are totally disregarded. Now, and just Google surrogacy horror stories. It's a horror, and it's terrible for women. Now, who is speaking out against this? Who is it? Is it secular feminists? Is it Handmaid's Tale fans? Has anyone ever seen a Handmaid's Tale fan speak out against how utterly demeaning and horrific the industry of surrogacy is getting, especially for impoverished, powerless women in developing countries? Is anyone who has their little Red Riding Hood Handmaid's Tale outfit speaking out against this? That would be a no. Who is, let me think, let me rack my brain. Who is speaking out against the horrors of using women's bodies as a means to an end to get designer babies that you're going to get rid of if they don't meet your exact specifications? Who? I'm trying to think. Let me rack. Oh, it's the Catholics. It's the Catholics, and it's just the Catholics. Like, it's just us. I can never talk about this. I get so much hate when I talk about this because it is only, and not even most Catholics, it's like 10 of us. 10 of us are willing to say, like, look, and I know people who have done surrogacy. I don't blame them as individuals. Because Lord knows what I would do if I walked a mile in their shoes. I have no judgment or blame for individuals. But you can speak out against this industry and say it's really, really scary what is happening to women and the implications of this and where this is going in 10, 20, 30 years if we live in a worldview where we just all accept this as a normal and okay thing to take women's bodies and use them for payment as a means to an end. That is terrifying. Very few of us ever talk about it, and the few of us who do are Catholic. So all of people who are actually wearing Handmaid's Tale outfits to protest Amy Coney Barrett look more ridiculous than I do right now. And that's a high bar. That's a high bar. They look more ridiculous than I do because the ideology that they are so wound up about is their ideology. This is your stupid worldview that you are protesting. Yes, there are bizarre Christians. I know some of them are in my phone. You do not want to let these guys take over. They are weird and they confuse their fetishes with their religion. It's super weird, but it's not Handmaid's Tale. I could do an episode on that of like, man, you want to know some weird Christian, like, you know what? That's how I'm going to get rich. Clearly, it's not going to be this podcast and my 7 YouTube viewers. How I am going to get rich is I am going to take actual weird Christianity, play it out, and I'm going to do my own Handmaid's Tale version of that. That's going to be a future episode. The other thing is with people getting all wound up about Amy Coney Barrett is here's a quote. In 2013, she was talking about, they said, what if Roe were to be overturned? Because that's what everyone's afraid of. Because one, as we said in, I believe it was episode 39, nobody understands that a Supreme Court justice's job, to borrow from someone else's analogy, is they're umpires. They call balls and strikes. They don't make up laws. These are not pharaohs. That's not how any of this works. So Amy Coney Barrett does seem to understand that it's her job to say what is and is not in the Constitution. So in 2013, she was asked, what if people were like, okay, the right to abortion it's not in the Constitution. It's not. It's just not there. So what if someone actually said that and Roe got overturned? And what she said is true. She said abortion would be neither legal nor illegal throughout the United States. The states and Congress would be free to ban, protect, or regulate abortion as they saw fit. All it does is turn it over to the states. Everyone acts like if Amy Coney Barrett gets confirmed, that it's just all over. Oh, we're living in the Handmaid's Tale. Like, all it does, even if Roe gets overturned, is it turns the decision over to the states. That's all that happens. And again, people wearing their Little Red Riding Hood's outfit should be excited that we have a Supreme Court justice who seems to be aware and care that her job is nothing more than to interpret the laws that are already there and not to make stuff up. Because it's like I was saying last time, we should all want Supreme Court justices that do that, not that match our ideology. Because if you have a Supreme Court justice who is just in there to make laws and to make change that they would like to see in the world, even if they agree with you today, they might not agree with you tomorrow. And then we really do just have pharaohs. Like we just sort of live in a monarchy if that's what Supreme Court justices can do. So this outfit is getting really hot, actually. I might need your help. Okay. I might need your help. Actually, no, I think I can get this off. So for those of you listening on audio only, you can see you can look up episode 40 on YouTube. And now I need like 10 minutes to kind of redo my hair here. Okay. We are going to totally switch gears. Palette cleanser. For those of you who have been hitting skip, for to just skip, like, nope, don't want to hear surrogacy. That's skip. Let's switch to lighter subjects, shall we?
Oh, yeah.
Shady. I don't know. I mean, why? Really, weren't we all having fun talking about the horrors of when you use women's bodies as objects for payment? I think it was fun. I think we've had too much fun.
Too much.
For one episode.
I need to calm down.
And so this is, I think the lesson we can all learn. This is what if you're surprised, this is what everyone gets for not watching my Instagram stories, because a couple of weeks ago, I said that this is what I've always done on my radio show. I got away from it for a while, but I'm back and it's who I am. You've been warned. Okay. So speaking of my Instagram stories, I posted some stories a couple days ago about getting lost in the parking lot of my grocery store because my husband put a bumper sticker on the back of my car that I didn't realize. Now, there are a couple, even if you saw the stories, a little bit extra info here. I can't emphasize how long I was lost. So there was an elderly gentleman, saw that I was obviously lost, was like, hello there. Goes into the grocery store, comes out with his bags, and I'm still wandering the parking lot. So Joe put this ugly bumper sticker on the back of my car. I hate it. The color scheme is orange and yellow with some light blue on it. I hate it. And what I have learned is I advocate for causes based on their logos. That's what I'm learning about myself. It's a good cause. It's like supporting first responders. It's a good cause. Let's just say it's good that, like, if I were in the bumper sticker shop and it were like, I can give money to the first responders and get their ugly bumper sticker, or ISIS has a bumper sticker here and I can give money to them, but it's great looking, very well designed, and works really well with my minivan. Let's just say that I'm glad I don't have that choice. A certain person who shall remain nameless was like, well, it's good that you have it on there. Like, if you're ever pulled over, then they know, that you support them. And I was like, if you perceive that getting pulled over and the results of that is an issue for my demographic, welcome to America. And I have a few things I'd like to share with you about our fine country. That wasn't, if you were to list like top 78 things that Jen, a white woman who lives in our city, it is actually listed in the top 10 safest cities in the country.
Really?
So yeah, what might happen and the other thing is, what this person who said this, like, what might happen if you get pulled over? What do you think I'm doing? Like, do you think I'm driving my minivan at 98 miles an hour holding a blunt out this? I mean, like, I don't do anything that would get me pulled over. So none of that's an issue. So I kind of feel like I've got I'm happy that we should support first responders. I'm happy that my husband supports that cause, and I think we should continue to do so. I just don't think that they should change their logo. If they want their bumper sticker on my car,
we should start a petition.
Let's fix it up a little bit. Let's get a nice looking logo.
I'll design one and we'll get a petition started.
Thank you. Good. Yeah. And then okay. So now I cannot emphasize how long I was walking around this parking lot. And yes, I was hitting the clicker, but my batteries are a little weak, so it wasn't beeping. And the other thing you need to know, because you think, like, how could Jen be this stupid? The other thing you need to know is I drive the most common kind of minivan, the most common color, the most common model. So I actually counted, there were seven same brand, make, model, color, whatever, of this type of minivan in the parking lot. So I started walking row by row, just holding down the thing that opens the minivan trunk, and like it opens and closes it. Well, right, but I thought it was a coincidence. Well, I'm like, whoa, who is opening their ugly bumper sticker car trunk at this? Because I just pressed it. Who could be around here? It didn't immediately click, and then I close it, and I'm like, is someone else? And then that's when I keep all this trash in the back of my car because I'm so disorganized. And I was like, look at that random shoe back there. I also have a random shoe. That's my car.
That's my shoe.
That's right. That's my. And so then it all came together. Now, the lesson here is this. So I looked like an absolute fool, and there were multiple witnesses to this. And this is the grocery store I go to all the time. So the little cart boy he took his whole caravan of carts in and came back, and I'm still wandering around. And then, because I actually lose my car a lot, just not at this level. I am very spacey. I never know where I am in space and time.
Either. Wrong way Jones.
Right, yeah, Wrong way Jones. That's my new
nickname.
That's
what I call myself.
So, it's a very good shading. Wrong way Jones. So I lose my car a lot. And so I have a system where you walk at the back of the lot because no one's back there and no one sees you, and you look very purposeful. You push that cart like, yeah, this is what I want to be doing. It's just, this there's a tree right here, and I wanted to make sure that tree is doing okay. So here we are. Yep, tree's looking good. All right, well, then I'm just going to move on. And then you can surreptitiously be looking around, scan back down at the parking lot to see your car, but nobody really sees you because you're in row XZZ at the back of the lot. Now, the day that I was out there, the other day when this happened, that's the day for randos to be sitting in their pickup trucks at the back of the lot. There were 4. I went from this side of the lot to kind of in the center to over here. And there are guys, most of them were pickup trucks, and they're just sitting there. So they're watching me. And I shouldn't worry. I shouldn't worry about what these guys think of me because, yes, I can't find my car, but you are sitting alone in a truck in the back of a parking lot. So none of our lives are going well. We interrupt this program to say this. The lawn mowing folks are here. Wonderful, wonderful group that we use. And they keep coming back and hitting the same spot. So we keep being quiet and they're back. It's like they see. Yeah, here we are. But they just, like, you already, sir, you already hit that spot. Job. Like, and I have no attention to detail. I won't notice. Like, you don't need to get that spot again.
We look out and he has a pair of scissors.
Right. Yeah. No, scissors are fine because they're quiet. It's like Texas Chainsaw Massacre out here. It's very loud outside the window where we are recording. But I say again that he was just here. And okay, we're doing a double mow. We're getting it nice. Man, this yard is going to be so smooth. It's just going to, we're back with the weed eater now. All right, weed eater coming in, getting the edge.
Yo,
there.
Weeds.
Gentlemen, I feel like it's fine. I feel like, but you got it, more or less. So I'm out there wandering, so many witnesses to this, because this is like everyone be in the grocery store parking lot day. I was thinking about how one of the greatest life skills that you can work on is not being so self-conscious and not worrying too much what other people think about you. And you can probably tell from the fact that earlier in this episode, I was wearing loungewear sweatpants on my head. This is like a, minor Handmaid's
that's
Tale.
Like when you're about to go to bed.
Right. Yeah, so I did my impromptu Handmaid's Tale outfit, which involved me putting sweatpants on my head. You know what gave me training? Here we're back with the weed eater. Excellent. You know what gave me training for this, and I got a lot of training in this, is I moved around a lot when I was a kid. I think I lived in 13 or 15 places before high school, and I'm an only child, so I never had siblings to help me meet anyone, and I was always super weird. And I just never fit in. I never made friends easily. I was never part of the cool kids. And in fact, I sort of usually just did not have friends. But I had imaginary friends, and I feel like that they were. Something. I had a squad. It was my imaginary
squadron.
Imaginary squadron, and keep in mind this was also before the internet. So I mean, I couldn't even waste time on TikTok. It was sad. But one of the things is I faced so much rejection, like pretty much every day of my life until, I don't know, maybe after college. You do get used to it. It's like a sport. You really do get used to it. And if you're someone who just hasn't had a lot of experience with that, of people judging you, of people looking at you and being like, you don't measure up, you don't make the cut, we don't want to be friends with you, we don't want you in our place, we don't want you, want you, you're not good enough. Right. If you haven't had experience with that, I truly recommend that you put yourselves in situations, like maybe wander around your grocery store parking lot for the better part of an hour. I truly recommend that you occasionally put yourself in situations where you might be rejected or you might look foolish to people. And I don't care if you are 20 or 70 listening to this episode. I don't care. No matter what your age. And actually, in fact, if you are over 40, I'm specifically talking to you. Because a lot of times as people go on in life, they get more protective of their ego. They get more rigid in their ways. And that's really not healthy for any of us, because no matter what you're meant to do in life, and we all have a mission. Again, whether you're 80 or whether you're 20, all of us have a mission. All of us have some purpose, some way that we're supposed to add light and love to the world. You won't really be able to follow it if you're not willing to look dumb. Because no matter what it is, whether it's something big like you're meant to be a public speaker, or whether it's something small like you're meant to just arrange flowers and share them with your neighbors, it does involve putting yourself out there. And anytime you put yourself out there, some people aren't going to like it. Some people are going to find it to be weird. Like if let's say you're just collecting flowers and bringing them to your neighbors. You know what? I know. I don't think I ever told you this, Shady. I know someone. One of our neighbors did this. They were new in the neighborhood, and they took bottles of wine and some flowers and like some baked goods and brought them to the neighbors. And they said that some people were kind of like, what are you doing on my property? You got about 5 seconds before the dogs come out. Like, I don't know what your game is, but like, I don't want you on my front porch. And they're like bringing wine and flowers and baked goods. So no matter how innocent and small your mission is, you will face rejection. And if you are terrified of looking like a fool, then you're not going to seek out your mission. This reminds me of, okay, this is so hot. I would love to
say it's big.
I would love to wear sweatpants on my head for longer, but it's getting hot, and I'm shouting again because I can't hear.
She's doing this for you.
Right, it's all for you. This reminds me of something that is really worth looking up on Instagram is Sara Blakely. She is the world's youngest female self-made billionaire. And well worth it. She's the founder of Spanx, that keeps everything together.
I love that.
Down there. And I never. Sometimes you see people, as an aside. Sometimes you see people who are like, well, I didn't like these Spanx because they were too tight. Like, what do
They're
you?
supposed to be.
Internal organ damage is how you know it's working.
It's not working right.
Right.
You can still breathe. Wrong.
If I'm not passing out, then I'm not getting my money's worth. So people,
I agree,
don't understand this. So Sara Blakely just reposted this. This is something she did a while back. I'm guessing she was probably like 42 or so when she did this. So when she first got on Instagram, she went around and asked people if they would follow her on Instagram. She went around and did randos at the airport. She was at LAX, and she was like, hey, I'm Sarah. I'm new to Instagram. Will you follow me? And a lot of them, you can see in this video, a lot of them were like,
what are you doing?
Yeah, and again, like, this isn't some 18-year-old on TikTok. Like, she has 4 kids. She's a billionaire. This is a billionaire. See, I would have led with that.
So I'm a billionaire.
Right. I would have been like, I own you. I could own you. Like, I'm gonna buy this plane. I'm gonna buy this whole airport because I'm a billionaire. Because I made women stop looking like biscuit tins, when they wear tight pants. I earned my billions. So you see this. You see these people acting weird in response to her, not really giving her, good, not really giving her good answers. But let me read to you what she says here. She says, here's a glimpse of the moment I joined Instagram a few years ago. I wasn't sure what to do, so naturally I asked random strangers at the airport to follow me. I'm so thankful you all are following me, blah, blah, blah. And she says, 2 things required to pursue your dreams: hustle and willingness to put yourself out there. The 2 things people are most afraid of: fear of failure and fear of being embarrassed. And she says that part of the way that she was able to build this great life, where she's not only a billionaire, but she's just a nice person. Again, she's got 4 kids. She's really devoted to her family. She's one of these people who seems to be living a really well-rounded, solid life. And she says that part of the secret to her success is that she overcame that fear of rejection. She overcame that fear of putting herself out there. And when you do that, not only does it allow you to connect with your mission, again, whether it's big or whether it's small, it allows you to be the person who you were meant to be, but it also allows you to just have fun. I think that if I'd had the kind of background where I was like the popular girl, like, hey, like I can't even imitate what popular people would do because I have no experience with it. Like, hey, friends, let's join the cheer squad and go to I'll do a cartwheel at the pep rally just because I'm 6 feet tall and I'll just end up, looking like I'm having a medical issue and everyone will call 911. For the team. Or what do popular people do, Shady? I don't know. You're
and they
cool.
go to the mall. I'm not popular though. I'm not that kind of cool.
That's right. You're right.
I'm like
you're cool.
alone on a staircase.
Shady hangs out with musicians. You're right. That's a different type of.
Let's go to Claire's.
Right. Yeah. Right. Like I'm president of the Honor Society. Yeah, no. I don't know. So I don't know.
We wear pink on Wednesdays.
Can't even imitate what popular people would do. But if I had that kind of background, so I'm getting a great response to my Instagram stories about just wandering about my epic voyage about being lost in the grocery store parking lot. And I'm hearing from a lot of people who have said, I was having a bad day, I'm having a really rough time right now, and your story made my day. I needed something to laugh at. Now, if I had had a background where I was not used to looking like a moron and just having people stare at me and being like, what is this person's problem? It probably would have just ruined my day, to be honest. I would have been frustrated. I wouldn't have shared the story. Maybe I would have had a meltdown. Someone would have called the cops on me. And then I would be like, look at my bumper sticker. I support first responders.
There you go. That's where.
Right. So it would have all went, and Joe would have been like, see, aren't you glad that bumper stickers?
What is I telling you?
Yeah, it kind of puts us in a vicious cycle. Like, I'm having meltdowns because of the bumper sticker. But then when the authorities arrive, they're really glad I'm there. And the whole reason I was able to laugh at it is not because I have some stellar sense of humor or I'm just so naturally humble, but it really is like a sport, like getting used to looking foolish to other people, being a little bit rejected, having them concerned about you. It's like a sport. It's like any skill you can develop. Sara Blakely credits that with her success. Again, you can look that up on Instagram. Her handle's just Sara Blakely, no H in Sara, S-A-R-A, Sara Blakely. And I think it's really wise what she says, that this is something that you can work on. Try little moments where you put yourself out there and you look dumb, or you put yourself out there and you get rejected. Make it your plan for the rest of this month, that every day you'll do something to put yourself out there in some little way that puts your ego at risk. Because let me tell you, when you conquer that, when you get over that fear, not only will you be much more likely to be able to connect with whatever is your mission in life, but you will end up having a whole lot more fun. So,
agreed.
Shady. Okay, we have been a little behind the scenes. We had some mowers show up in the middle of this episode.
Oh yeah.
We had technical issues. This was a survival show for us. Can you reach me to give me a high five, or is that do we?
Okay.
High five. Hallie Lord, Hallie Lord has her work. Best of luck. Go with God. Hallie Lord editing this episode. Join my Patreon. I'm having so much fun over there, and we do exclusive bonus episodes only for our Patreon friends at patreon.com/thisisjen. And I will be back with you soon here on This Is Jen.